All right, so this is the game prototype I made for the final course, um, game prototyping and development for the Epic Games professional certificate. So let me show some mechanics that I reused from the module 2. Also something that I changed during the course and how it plays out with overall narrative of the game. So in this case, we end up according to the game story near the camp with some survivors that are roaming around here, patrolling the camp. So let's try to speak to one of them. So Fleur and Sven, two first NPCs we interact with. They talk about some guy Simon, and they, tell us about how we managed to escape the madness. And then they redirect us to another NPC, Harold. This is one of the first things I changed in the game, because by default questing functionality doesn't support required quests. So in this case, these are two special NPCs called class NPCs. They will actually give us one of the two classes that you can select for this game. So one being a sorcerer, master of arcane, it's called, and one is a warrior, fighter, champion type. So these are child classes of quest NPC. But when we just speak to them without having the main quest, they will tell us to go get the main quest and do nothing. So now we can also get a bit more story exposure here. Talk to this guy. And then we can go to Harold, which is our quest giver for this level. And he tells us a story about how they've been living all nice and preparing to survive the dry season, which is a sort of a tough weather season in this world, and then how everyone expected to contribute, but there were always folks who didn't want to be involved so much, and then one day they took control of the settlement. This is a bit homage to a reference to Frostpunk, so when the discontented folk overthrow the captain. So this is, we kind of explore what can happen as a result. And Simon is the leader of the resistance in this case, and we're going to take him down. And he will want a proof that they can return back to their settlement, and he will redirect us back to quest NPCs. Depending on who we speak, we'll get different abilities. So if we speak to Fleur, we'll become a sorcerer. If we speak to Sven, we'll become a warrior. So I'll complete the game as a sorcerer, probably. No, I will complete the game as a warrior, so I'll show sorcerer skills here. So sorcerer can heal himself, and I added some VFX to abilities. So I added a healing ability. Well, maybe we can complete the game to sorcerer, let's see. So here we go, there's our first enemy. See, we don't have a lot of health at the start. I also added an ability for enemies to drop some loot. So here we have a lucky coin, which is just a small hit points boost for us. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So we have another ability here, which is kind of area of effect. We just run around and they receive damage. We can also heal while we're running. There we go. So these two guys went down. Some enemies can drop more than 1 point. It's also an extension of the original functionality. Nope. It is a bit tough as a sorcerer at the start, because you have really low health for the damage that you receive. So let's see, if I fail the game as a sorcerer, we'll do it as a warrior. Oh, there is one guy. Plus, we also have sprint. Allows us to create some distance. Oh, didn't work. Oh. Alright. Not that easy. So a whiplash ability doesn't have a cooldown. I just remembered I forgot to add it. Oh, oh. But so let me demonstrate how it works. And look at that. So that was our sorcerer. Let's restart the level and see what the warrior can do. So whiplash, let's also just quickly demonstrate here. It is very handy if you manage to get through the starting area. It allows you to attack a group of enemies. So that's how it works. It is essentially a falling projectile. And Zap is also an area of effect ability, which is super handy to run around. But let's take a look at the warrior now, and I'll just check that I'm still recording. Yep, I'm still recording. So let's go take the warrior path. Go in immersive mode. One thing that I also added to the game is that certain quests can have rewards, which is essential here. So the gameplay is centered around powering up to be able to defeat Simon. So we can technically go to him right away, but that will do us no good. Now warrior doesn't have a healing ability, he has a HP regeneration. And it's also a bit tough at the start. Well, let's see the VFX, warrior abilities. All warrior abilities have area of effect. So basically we can stack mobs and kill them all in one swing. But we're not tough enough for that. So we'll go around just carefully. But on the plus side, yeah, just like that. Oh, okay. And we have block. Oh, I'm lagging a bit here. My game just froze. Sorry about that. Let's restart the level. So block reduces the incoming damage by 50%, which allows you to helps a bit with the area that we will reach. As you see, the game is quite tough at the beginning, especially if it freezes. So let's try to get through now. Lucky coins are quite useful because it's a couple hundred HP boost, which is not bad. There's this guy. Get him down. Just go slightly careful. Careful. Try to avoid getting freeze. These two guys. And At the beginning we don't have damage reduction, which is the quests that we'll do will give us. And that will allow us to actually defeat Simon and his guys. So there is some loot that we can collect using platforming. So the game essentially combines narrative, action combats, and a bit of platforming to find some juicy loot. Makes it just a bit more fun to wander around here. These mutineer scouts are intentionally kind of rogue archetypes, so they're hidden from us in the grass and they now run around. The idea is to create a sense of danger in the player. So by navigating this jungle, that is, mutineers are essentially everywhere. You kind of have to be on the watch out for them. So let's hope there is no one. Oh, there is one waiting for us in this grass. And we got some coins here. So we can see there is some kind of a camp here. I don't think we can actually take it right now. So we'll go slightly around here. Try to avoid. There is no stealth mechanic in the game. I actually completely removed all the stealth code. And the mobs just aggro from certain range. Ability damage is randomized. Just use the minimum using the random floating range. There are patrols spread around the map. There's a statistic modifiers actors used here, as are what we're about to see. And we're kind of trying to get to that fortress, but before that we need some power-ups. So we'll try to get these guys down and get us up. And this is so we're gonna use block, which will reduce the damage we take. We're gonna cut them down slowly. Then we're gonna use sprint to take that one. Yep. These are sort of arcade archers. So I'm using the projectile. And then there are a couple of characters in the game, mages, which not use normal projectile, they use projectile, which is a set projectile, and then it will follow. It's the same that player character uses. Player character mage, you don't have to aim. You actually just need to block again. So mage here can take 3 enemies at a time. The warrior can only take 1 because it's standing close enough. You have to bait the enemy a little bit. So we don't die. Oh. So this is quite tough spot. We can respawn. No harm done here. So when we respawn, I didn't get checkpoints, so we just respawn with full resources. This is also meant to help the player at the beginning. If they die, they can just respawn. Some juicy loot here. Where is it? Yes, here. And I left the air dash bug or a feature that was added in the mission course that you can actually chain air dashes. That I left in, because why not? It's fun. No. We don't actually need to take all the archers down. I think we cleared enough not to get aggroed. We can just pass here into the village. There's a Steven waiting for us. He is, yeah. We didn't, Steven, don't worry. And then, yeah, this is one of the main quests that we need. Oh, yes, as you can see, there are also these stealth guys almost everywhere to make us feel a bit worried for our lives. Oops, 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 oops. There are two of them, and we can just take them down like just like this. Get the juicy coins. So Flora is a friendly lady. Also doesn't like Simon, but she's more interested in her onion soup ingredients. So this is also a small quest to get us powered up for the main boss. So we need to get her some cheese, some onions, and some water. Oh, and yes, dispose of this fella. Get his coin. Not all NPCs drop, but most of them. I didn't spend much time balancing this. But kind of the idea is that should be more quests here, and the whole game has a classic World of Warcraft vibe, where you have an area with some quests that are related to main story, some like Flores are very loosely related to main story, but they all give you power-ups until you eventually progress to the final enemy in the area. And then I thought of even adding like kill 10 of these guys, those guys, to give the game a complete feel. And that required patching the quest code, which I also spent a lot of time on just to get some other things going, like VFX. I spent a lot of time improving them. I thought this is good enough as a POC idea, and then obviously the area is vast, so it can be expanded. So we got some loot from Fleur. This is not visible in the game, but some items actually give damage reduction and damage bonus, which is an important thing for us to have. You can see it's much easier for us now, because Fleur's item gives damage reduction. I also changed the items to cost both. This guy is stuck with it. To cost both stamina and mana, depending on the ability, just to make it slightly more challenging. But at the end, we will become so powerful. Simon will be a piece of cake. There is, of course, can be a challenge mode when you just go straight to him. But yeah, it will require tuning. So there is this camp, that's where the Clemenson guy is, we just need to find him. And there is also a mage here, which is one of the most dangerous enemies we missed in the game. So now our abilities on cooldown, we can just stand with block. And he will deal null damage to us until... There we go, this guy is down. So mage is super dangerous because he will hit us no matter what, so we just need to go right here and kill him. They also have very high damage mages. Oh, this guy has a coin. Where is Clemenson? Clemenson? Oh, here he is, I think that's him. Yes, hello. He's not anything strong, as again, here is his stuff. He doesn't need to be, so even though he is a named NPC, same as we go to Classic World of Warcraft, it doesn't necessarily mean he has to be freakish strong guy. He just has to get the quest story in this case. And the block is similar to like a shield wall ability, so it reduces damage by 50%. A lot of things that could be improved here, like adding actual visibility on the status effects, so we see our damage reduction, HP regeneration, mana regeneration, and so on. Because the items that we receive for this quest also increase our HP regeneration, which is an important thing for the final encounter. Now we have Evil's Bane, which gives us 500 health, enormous amount of HP regeneration, and stamina, which allows us to dodge all the way as much as we want, and a lot of stamina regeneration. So this is kind of the item that enables defeating the boss, but it still would be slightly challenging, so we'll get a couple more stuff, just so the video shows that I can play my own game and win. We'll go here. This is there, if you remember at the beginning, the guy told us that there is a construction at the east wall. So here it is, and then we see there are enemies there, but there is nothing here. So let's, okay, that was a bit of a miss. So let's go, and I also showed this when I did the animation course, that this is meant to be a platforming area. So here we have a bit of a platforming, which is tied to the story. And here we are. And there is another guy surviving. So he's quite amazed how we're here. So that gives us more HP, more regeneration, more, and yeah, we are noticed. So the aggro ranges are not tuned properly here, so we were noticed while we should not have been. And I removed the noise mechanic altogether here. So it's just vision-based or range-based detection essentially, but that is fine. For this game, we don't really need a stealth mechanic. I'm saying there is another loop of our magic ability. We just need to make sure that NPCs aggro at us and attack reliably, which is what they do. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is getting a bit intense here. Yeah. Big fellas from the start attack us. Let's get them down. And this is the mage. The mage is super dangerous, but not right now. He is not. This is the homing projectile that will eventually find us. There are more coins to collect here, so we got all these folks down. And here's the Henrik, which was shown at the beginning, so let's talk to him. He gives us a defensive item which significantly increases our damage and reduces damage taken. Because some of the Simon's hits by default deal 1000 damage, which is, even at this point, half of our health. So there you see there is loot on top. Get that loot as well, which gives us 500 more health. And you can see there are two more loot items, one up there, so we somehow need to know how to get there, and then there is one behind the wall. Yeah, hello fellas. Now we got them. Oh, we're lucky with the coins. We got 3 coins here. And we got one more cheese. And there is one more item for us to get. So we are fully ready for the salmon guy. And again, because of aggro, some mobs will aggro us, but this is fine. They won't be able to reach us anyway. Oh yeah, the boss music is here. But we will come for you guys. First, let me try to make this jump. There we go. Yep. Okay, now we are fully ready. And let's get them. Okay, so now our damage increases to the point that we can one-shot guards with a sweep. Almost. But the mage is still giving us a bit of let's see his damage. Yeah, see, we regenerate now more than he deals. So this was Simon's entourage. Let's check out the Simon guy. Hello, Simon. Oh, yeah, Simon deals some serious damage. Yep. And yeah, he gets stronger as time passes, so we need to kill him relatively quick. Every 5 seconds he receives about his damage. Yes. So that was the Simon. We found the king. We can also get these guys down because they are annoying. Hello. That's it. We won. Liberation. Yeah, you can see we can farm his loot this way. So that's the game. So to sum up, it's an action combat. We're World of Warcraft classic from the old days style, where we just have very simple quests: kill this, bring this to me, which power us up until we are ready for the final boss of the area. With some twist, there is a bit of a narrative added to it, and platforming to get more loot. That we can use. But we can also just go with the quest loot and then we will be able to defeat him. So yeah, I spent also a lot of time tweaking VFX for abilities, just to make them look cool. I think the camera should have been set up slightly differently for this, a bit of more like from the top, but this also looks pretty well. And yeah, tweaking AI behavior proved to be a bit an exercise that required a bit more time than I had for this prototype, but I learned a lot through this and I hope you enjoy the video and how you can turn this stylized digital level into a working game. Thanks. That would be it.